What if the most powerful food-growing system on Earth doesn't require you to plant a single seed next spring? No tilling, no replanting, no starting over every year like you're trapped in some agricultural version of Groundhog Day. I'm talking about crops that your ancestors planted once, just once, and then harvested for decades. Crops that survived droughts, freezing winters, and total neglect, and still came back stronger every single year. These aren't exotic experiments. These are the backbone plants of survival, the ones that kept families fed when annual gardens failed. Most gardeners today are stuck in an exhausting cycle, buying seeds, prepping beds, babying seedlings, only to watch half their work wither by August. But there's another way, a smarter way. The way people grew food before the seed industry convinced us we needed to start from scratch every spring. In this video, I'm walking you through 25 perennial crops that grow like fruit trees. Plant them once, establish them right, and they'll feed you for 20, 30, even 50 years. And here's the kicker, number 18 produces food in the dead of winter when almost nothing else will. Number 22 actually improves your soil while it feeds you. And the last one, it's so resilient, you could forget about it for 5 years and it would still be there waiting. If you're serious about building a food system that works for you instead of enslaving you to an annual planting calendar, subscribe and turn on notifications because what comes next will change how you think about gardening forever. Let's get into it. Here are 25 productive crops that grow like fruit trees. Before we dive into the list, let me tell you why this matters more than you might think. For thousands of years, human civilizations didn't survive on tomatoes and lettuce. They survived on perennials, trees, shrubs, and vines that came back year after year without being asked. The ancient Persians built entire garden systems around perennial crops. Medieval European monasteries grew food forests that fed communities for centuries. Indigenous peoples across North America cultivated perennial food landscapes that required almost no maintenance. Then something changed. Industrial agriculture decided that annual crops were more profitable, easier to control, easier to sell, and we all bought into it. We started measuring success by how much work we could do in a single season instead of how little work we could do over a lifetime. But perennials, they're the ultimate expression of working smarter, not harder. They ask for your effort once. In return, they give you decades of food, medicine, beauty, and resilience. These 25 crops aren't just productive, they're liberating. And once you see what they're capable of, you'll wonder why you ever planted anything else. Let's start with number 1. Number 1. Asparagus, the 30-year harvest. Most people think asparagus is expensive because it's hard to grow. They're half right. It's expensive because it takes patience, and commercial farms don't have patience, but you do. Plant asparagus crowns once, and you're looking at 20 to 30 years of harvests. Some well-maintained beds have produced for over 50 years. Ancient Romans cultivated asparagus and wrote detailed instructions on how to grow it, instructions that still work today. Here's what makes asparagus extraordinary. After the first 2 years of establishment, you get 6 to 8 weeks of daily harvests every single spring. We're talking pounds and pounds of spears. You plant it in a trench, feed it compost once a year, and then just show up in April and cut. Cold hardy to zone 3, drought tolerant once established, pest resistant. The spears push up through the soil with so much force they can crack asphalt. That's the kind of determination you want in your garden. This is food security you plant once and inherit for a generation. Number 2. Rhubarb, the indestructible pie plant. If you want a plant that refuses to die, plant rhubarb. This crop survives Zone 2 winters. It grows in clay soil that would choke most vegetables. It tolerates shade. It laughs at drought. Rhubarb has been cultivated in Asia for over 5,000 years, originally as medicine. The thick, tart stalks are loaded with vitamins and minerals, and they make some of the best pies, jams, and sauces you'll ever taste. A single established rhubarb plant can produce 10 to 15 pounds of stalks every year, and it keeps doing that for 20 years or more. You harvest in spring and early summer, and the plant just keeps pushing out more stalks. Here's the best part. Rhubarb divides naturally. After a few years, you can split the crown and turn one plant into 5. Plant those, and suddenly you have more rhubarb than you know what to do with. Pioneer families planted rhubarb next to their homesteads because they knew it would outlast everything else. That legacy is still available to you. Number 3. Horseradish, the root that never quits. Horseradish is not a crop, it's a commitment. Once you plant it, it's there forever. Leave even a tiny piece of root in the ground and it will regrow. But here's why that's a good thing. Horseradish is one of the most medicinally powerful plants you can grow. The roots contain compounds that clear sinuses, fight infections, and boost circulation. Fresh horseradish makes store-bought versions taste like cardboard. This plant has been used for over 3,000 years. The ancient Egyptians knew about it. The Greeks used it as medicine. Early European settlers brought it to America because they knew they'd need it. One plant produces several pounds of roots per year. You dig them in fall or early spring and grate them fresh and preserve what you don't use immediately. The plant regrows from whatever roots remain. Cold hardy to zone 4, grows in poor soil, needs almost no care. Just give it space because it will take over if you let it. This is the plant you put in a corner and forget about until you need it. And when you need it, it's there. Number 4. Artichoke, the thistle worth keeping. Most people only know artichokes as expensive grocery store items, but in the right climate, artichokes are perennial powerhouses that produce for 5 to 10 years straight. These plants are ancient. Mediterranean cultures have been growing artichokes for over 2,000 years. The flower buds you harvest are packed with antioxidants, fiber, and nutrients that support liver function and digestion. A mature artichoke plant can produce 20 to 30 buds per season, and if you let a few bloom, the purple thistle flowers are absolutely stunning, some of the most beautiful things you'll see in a garden. Artichokes thrive in zones 7 through 11, though some varieties can handle zone 6 with protection. They need full sun and good drainage, but once established, they're remarkably drought tolerant. And here's something most gardeners don't know. Even if the winter kills the top growth, the roots often survive and send up new shoots in spring. This is the crop that transforms a garden corner into a gourmet perennial vegetable factory.
Number 5. Sorrel, the lemony green that never stops. Sorrel is one of those plants that makes you wonder why anyone bothers with lettuce. The leaves have a bright, lemony flavor that adds incredible depth to salads, soups, and sauces. This plant has been grown in Europe and Asia for centuries. The French developed classic sorrel soup recipes that are still made today. The leaves are rich in vitamin C and were historically used to prevent scurvy. Sorrel is perennial from zones 3 through 9. It grows in sun or partial shade, it tolerates poor soil, and it produces tender, flavorful leaves from early spring through late fall, sometimes even through winter in mild climates. One established clump gives you continuous harvests for 5 to 10 years. Cut the outer leaves and the plant just keeps making more. Plant sorrel once and you'll never need to buy salad greens again. It's that simple and that productive. Number 6. Walking onions, the crop that plants itself. Walking onions might be the weirdest and most wonderful thing on this list. Instead of making seeds, they grow little bulbils, tiny onions on top of their stalks. The weight bends the stalk to the ground, the bulbils root, and the plant literally walks across your garden. These onions have been cultivated for hundreds of years, passed down through families and communities. They're also called Egyptian onions or tree onions, though no one quite knows where they originated. You can harvest the underground bulbs like regular onions, you can harvest the greens like scallions, and you can harvest the top-set bulbils and replant them, or eat them. 3 harvests from one plant. Walking onions are cold hardy to zone 3, heat tolerant